Hi everyone, welcome to ZV NFT and Happy New Year to you. I've been having a pretty good time with my Nintendo Switch over the last week or so, and my partner in crime, in business, Chidi, has told me to download a bunch of new games, Civilization and BioShock. So I may be gone for a while, but in the meantime, I've spent a little time looking at the crypto NFT space and just trying to educate myself. I am no expert, trust me. When you look at my portfolio, you'll know that. But let me at least share with you what I've been learning. Okay, toward the end of last year, I came across this good article. What this year in crypto has taught us. Basically, it's a I told you so type of a story, and it's legitimate for all the diehards out there. I think it's important to understand what happened here rather than just keeping blinders on, right? So she writes, first of all, the whole ecosystem was propped up by a lot more leverage than anyone realized. Secondly, the idea that the crypto world is decentralized was laid to rest once and for all this year. So one of the big things is about, it's crypto so great, it's so decentralized, that it's not like there's a centralizing entity like a bank. It's just, ones and zeros, and the blockchain does it all. But what she's saying is actually a lot of crypto activities took place on highly centralized exchange, and the big boys or the big players on the exchanges were basically kind of working together, in group chats and having this thing she calls exchange coordination. So FTX, Boo, Binance and Tether, she cites as examples. So it's centralized, guys, is what's being argued here. And the third is that this was kind of a Ponzi-like scheme in many areas of the economics of the crypto market. And, you ultimately had big players, and when you look at their portfolios, their books were filled with their friends and their own nonsense tokens. So when one imploded, loads of them imploded, and whole chunks of the industry rapidly disappeared. And then lastly, it was just kind of a Wild West thing, right? She argues that a lot of crypto exchanges and platforms allowed us to see for the very first time the utter lawlessness that fuels crypto, free from the burdensome yoke of regulation that meant that people with the likes of FTX were able to just do as they please, misappropriate people's funds. I'm a big proponent for regulation, and I think that it would be very good for the entire crypto blockchain space. Her final point is this: crypto has a strange resilience. Even though the markets have collapsed and big platforms have collapsed, you've got people willing to suspend disbelief and clinging on to the hope that one day their miraculous internet money might resume its trajectory to the moon. So the diehards are still there. And speaking of going to the moon, no one's talking about mooning right now, but Bitcoin appears to have made some kind of a turn, and everyone's getting very excited. Bitcoin could be preparing for the next bull run. I would treat that now with a grain of salt. However, you can see Bitcoin's trajectory is up, and it's green, and it's right now sitting at 17.5 thousand US dollars, and that's a good sign. The altcoins, meaning the alternative coins to Bitcoin, so anyone who's not a Bitcoin is an altcoin, are also doing well. So as Bitcoin goes, so goes everybody else. So ETH is up, the stablecoin Tether is up, Binance is up, BNB, that's their native coin, and you can see the rest of the green here. So it depends also on what happens. I think later this week on Thursday, the inflation numbers are going to come out, the interest rates are going to be announced, and if there's good news on both fronts, you're going to see a little bit of a breakout from Bitcoin, and then therefore all the other altcoins would follow suit. So I bought a little Bitcoin today. I don't have much, my portfolio is looking ugly, but I did buy a little bit. I also went into my crypto tracker, and it's called CoinStats, and boy, was I down on everything. I'd sold a lot of coins, a lot of the altcoins, and moved it into Bitcoin some months ago. Watched the whole thing collapse and then come, eke back up over the last couple of weeks. So that's not doing too well. I logged back onto my Coinbase. You could see how bad things things are, right? That's my balance, you guys. And you can see, how much of a loss I took overall. And that was bad. But that gives you a sense of how people are suffering having invested in this space. A couple of news headlines I wanted to share with you, just to reconfigure itself. Coinbase has slashed 20% of the workforce. It's the second major round of job cuts. And it's actually quite significant. There's put a lot of pressure on exchanges since the bad actor, the unscrupulous thief, Sam Bankman-Fried's exchange FTX collapsed. So it had a contagion or a black eye essentially across the entire industry. There are likely more shoes to drop. This is one of them. But meantime, Binance, oopsie daisy, is actually doubling down, right? They have decided to go conversely on a hiring spree, even as rivals have slashed jobs. So the CEO is saying, we want to actually prepare ourselves for a future Bitcoin bull run that, take it with a grain of salt. I'm going to say that a lot, that people talk about 2024 and the halving of Bitcoin, which I still have to completely understand before I can explain it to you. But he said the company needs to get well organized ahead of the next crypto bull run and just increase the efficiency of the exchange itself. By the way, I'm reading this book. It's by T.S. Eliot. It's called The Wasteland, and it's fantastic. There's just some incredible poetry here, and it's nothing to do with my portfolio, but as you've seen, it's probably quite relevant. Wanted to share that with you. Since it's the 100th year of the publication of The Wasteland, actually. And speaking of that, let me tell you a little bit about the NFT space. I won't show you my portfolio there because I don't consider it a wasteland because my NFTs have dropped in value. I actually was in it because I believed in it and I collected some really amazing pieces of art. So I will share that with you once I figure out my virtual art room, which I keep messing up every time I go and build this room. I don't know what I do, but I will share it with you. Let's talk a little bit about the vibe around NFTs and dive in. I thought that it would be helpful to get some context back here. So I went to my boy Gary V, and he talks a little bit about how the NFT market overall has been held back by oversupply, greed, and bad projects. There were a lot of celebrities, brands, and artists that really just hopped onto the NFT bandwagon, and it caused a lot of supply and demand issues. So what he says essentially is that these are the three reasons. Crappy projects or subpar projects, greed and oversupply are the main reasons the NFT market fell so hard over the past year. I mean, there are obviously a lot of issues, a lot of FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. I wasn't swearing, and just fear, right? From traditional social media, you're seeing floor prices go down on NFTs and trading volumes that are down by like 97, 98%, right? So there's been a huge, run from the NFT space from investors. But if you're paying attention to what's been going on, he says this is actually no surprise, right? Because of those three reasons. People, he said, just were too greedy, and the Thor fell. And when it fell, everyone fell hard. So he points back to previous articles and comments that he has made, where he said that, ultimately the boom would be a bust and bad investments would go to zero. He also talked about poor operators. So basically people that are putting projects together and they don't really know how to execute them. You can do a great site, have a great idea. You put out a collection of 10,000 and then, you're not sure how to run it and how to make it profitable and how to engage your community and manage your team. So that was one. The other point he makes, which I think is a really good debate point to have, how the celebrities and influencers, sports leagues, big brands, individual artists, they all jumped on the bandwagon here. All the prices pumped as a result. And you've had supply and demand issues as a result. And frankly, I would add to that credibility issues. What do you say to Matt Damon, right? Who was on that crypto.com ad and we lent a celebrity to something that triggers desire, mimetic desire. We all want to copy that. We believe in that, and or at least psychologically, it has an impact. So, what does that say about celebrities who jump in and legitimize crypto and the NFT space overall? So, too many people rush to make a quick buck from launching projects or trading NFTs and endorsing the space, resulting to scams and projects with poor fundamentals that ultimately imploded. Everybody treated it like a micro sprint and a gold rush, and that's why most will lose. So he looks ahead to NFTs in 2023 and basically says, listen, there's not going to be another boom, right? Anytime soon, at least, like that in 2021. And the macroeconomics don't look pretty good. It's not going to be turning bullish anytime soon. So, you need to hunker down, right? If you really believe in the space, understand it, learn, understand the projects you buy into, and if you're building your own project, really find a use case and really understand what it is you're trying to do and what problem you're trying to solve. So that is Gary Vee. A little bit of wisdom to share with you. People sometimes get down on the guy, but I actually think in this space, I pay attention. Anyway, that having been said, the next story I want to share, and again, grain of salt, right? I mean, New Year brings strong NFT sales up 26% in the first week of 2023. Okay, but when you look at what the actual NFT collections that were up, you've got the blue chip of the blue chippest, the Bored Ape Yacht Club NFT collection is up, right? And you've got the Bored Ape Kennel Club and the Bored Ape Mutant Club. And so these are ones that are relatively well established, Azukis, CryptoPunks, right? So it's still out of reach, even if the floor prices have dropped to many people. So I think the jury's still out here. I continue to work on my guy, the Luca Press Club. Where is he? I don't know if you can catch a glimpse of the man himself. Hi, little Luca. I have to take him out for a walk, actually, so I need to get going. But I continue to work on this and try and understand what is the use case. I don't want to just go hard into it and then, just not be as thoughtful as I can. I'm not going to make millions out of this. So Billy and I, my co-founder in this, the artist who designed the Lucas by hand, painstakingly and lovingly, we really want to find a way that we can engage you and that provides a legitimate use case for the Luca Press Club. I continue to scroll around on OpenSea and other NFT platforms, and I will keep you posted on what I think is worth pointing out. I, to be honest, I'm getting back into it, so I don't just want to ramble a bunch of things off, but this is kind of where I'm at right now. And I will give you analysis comprehensively of some of the trends that we're starting to see in the NFT space. If Ethereum goes up, we'll all be happy. All of us who own NFTs whose value has dropped and Ethereum's dropped, so it's just all bad. So let's see how it goes, okay? That's it for this installment of ZV NFT. It's good to be back, and thank you for spending time with me and wrapping your head around the space with me and navigating through it with all its hurdles, its ups and its downs. Eventually it'll even out, although it's a little bit crazy right now. I would really, really appreciate it if you would please like me, hit the button, and it helps me with the algorithms with YouTube. So I would really appreciate that. Please comment and let me know if there's something specific that you would like to learn about, and I can jump into it with you, for you. And I would really enjoy that. So please comment, and anything also on the Luca Press Club, whatever you think could be a scenario where you could see yourself buying or using this NFT, what is it that you would want when it comes to a storytelling opportunity? Thanks a lot. Take care, okay?